Stilton's acting odd-like today. Just staring at nothing.
I don't think the Duke and Stilton are on good terms.
Today feels different. Stilton seems spooked.
Watch yourself up there. Nobody's repaired the balcony yet. If those supports break, I might not be able to catch your heavy ass.
I'm counting on you, ma'am. It might be romantic.
All right. Oh, the look on his face. Well, who was he expecting?
The guy upstairs has turned back, so we can knock out the lady guard and give her a nice place to rest. And these cushions. And then it's time for some cause and effect again. You heard them talk about how unstable these supports are. It's near to falling down, don't touch it, don't touch the supports! Sorry, Jamie, we're gonna do exactly that. They're still fine for now, but 3 years in the future, it's fallen down and collapsed. I'm gonna go up there, but first I need to deal with some of the wolfhounds that is walking in this area. That's a lovely little twirly tornado. They will attack me if they see me, so let's put them to sleep. And by putting them to sleep, I apparently mean shoot right into a vine and have the sleep dart explode and do nothing. Much better. Much better. That one didn't keep. That one did. So we at least got one sleep dart back, leaving us at 3. Now up here is the important place we need to go, but in the present. And that means a lot of blood flies. There's also a nest keeper here we need to make sure to grab, and I haven't learned my lesson, so let's shoot it into another vine. Alright, we're gonna try again, but better. Much better. And we even get our sleep dart back. Now, blood flies. Well, usually we blow incendiary bolts on them, or combustion bolts, the upgraded versions are called. But once we're in the present here and there's not a lot of other things to do, we can basically take him out however we want. I tend to sometimes just go up and slash him, or you can shoot them with your pistol. Do mostly anything. First though, I wanted to check out this area. Check it out in the past, of course. This is the butterfly room, I suppose you can call it. I'm gonna put you here. Lovely little position. It's always safer to explore in the present. You have that one open, you sort of see where they are. Place yourself in a safe position, such as up here. And switch back.
Mr. Stilton must be a big reader. I saw the books in the study.
Stilton? Hardly. Those are for show.
Why would you buy so many books if you're not even going to read them?
They're not books. They're symbols of wealth and good breeding. Now, get back to doing your job.
Yes, ma'am.
Stilton is new money, and he seems to be fairly insecure about his position in the social graces. Let's deal with these two. Good old drop knockout. And boom! Ah, it's so quick now. 4 strong arms. So useful. And another painting, this one of the Torturer from Dishonored 1. Another person you run into that has some level of supernatural power. You see why it's called the butterfly room? There are lots and lots of butterflies everywhere. Again, probably something Stilton doesn't really care about, but thinks it makes him look fancy and elite. He cares about appearances a lot, Stilton. find out more of that eventually. There's not a lot of amazing great things here. Again, you can run around and loot for every little bit of coin, which there's plenty. There's about 3,300. I think I end up with about 2,200, so I'm a bit behind, but at this point on I'm already sitting on 7,000, so having 9 or 10,000 not that big a deal. Gonna put him somewhere safe, so here will do. And then we've pretty much explored this place. It's time to kill some bloodflies. Again, choose whichever way you prefer. Incendiary bolts, bullets. Me, I'm just gonna go with my good old sword. I have the bone charm to restore both health and mana when I kill bloodflies, so even as they do sting me a bit, I tend to regenerate it all. It's messy work, but properly prepared, it's not that hard, and it's kind of rewarding. You do end up with a fair bit of blood amber, just 25 gold apiece. Clearing out this area is particularly handy because later on...
Whatever happened seems to be centered at some focal point.
This focal point. This is the code to the study, and it is a little bit, well, ruined by now. Later on, like I said, in the present... No, sorry, the past... Gets confusing a bit if you don't think clearly. We're going to sort of walk this area to see, with the help of the timepiece, when we can shift into the past. So being able to clear out all the blood flies is very handy for that. One last one in the ceiling. And there we go. Third time's the charm. Here we have a note. And apparently Stilton originally had planned to expand another wing, another extension to the home. But that never really happened. Here's the map. We had that one already. We bought it, or rather stole it from the black market last mission. More sleep darts. Again, always handy. Gonna go in here soon. We're gonna sort out every little detail here. What I really want to do before anything here, though, is deal with those bloodfly nests. Replacement windows. So yep, I intend to replace the windows, which could be pretty handy. In fact, they're very handy, because if we travel back in time, we can stop the windows from being replaced. So once we're done bathing in the slime and remains of the nests, just double check that every place here is clear now. I'm pretty sure we can walk all around without any problems. This is where we need to input the combination, or find the combination, in the past. The place is currently being a bit blocked by a fair bunch of guards. And this is the butterfly room, the way we came from. You can sort of easily scout around the entire area now. We have these two guys having a bit of a interesting conversation. We'll listen into them later on. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna deal with the windows. The windows are in the process of being replaced back in the past. Let's listen.
That looks like reinforced glass. Is there a break-in?
Nothing of the sort. We're just renovating for Mr. Stilton.
His windows went out of style? These rich choppers drive me nuts.
Stilton just worries about his home and about how he speaks and dresses. Always afraid of making some mistake, socially speaking.
That's no way to live. Not even comfortable in your own skin. I'll let you get back to it.
So there's 2 workers and 1 guard. This can be a little bit tricky, so I'm going to be fairly liberal with my use.
Hey, something wrong? What happened here?
Shoot him quickly enough when he opens the door and he doesn't actually get to detect you. Luckily we get 1 sleep dart back. Not from this guy. But we will from this guy. So, really we only wasted 1 sleep dart on those 3. And that makes things a lot easier. Trying to sneak around, otherwise they see you pretty easily. And there you go. That's the note that asks for the windows to be replaced. Which is exactly what we have now stopped. With the workers taken out, these windows are not going to be replaced, and they will be broken in the present. Which means we can sort of walk around this way to get to this little room. In which we can see that in the past there are 3 guards walking around, having a bit of an interesting conversation, which sadly we don't quite get to listen into. Should have remembered to listen to that one, but instead I'm doing this. Because these guys can be extremely tricky. They always pretty much stay inside of line of sight. So by doing this, we set them out of their conversation and get them searching for me instead. We hide the present and wait for them to separate. I maybe oversold the conversation a little bit. It's not that interesting, but still kind of wish I listened to it. One guy down, now we just have to deal with the other 2.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Let's go functionally invisible in the present. For that guy to walk through. Easy peasy. And wait for him to close the door for us. Which is really handy. The reason we're going through all this much trouble just for these 3 is because inside that room is a rune. And that is exactly what we're after. So now there's just 1 of them left. And now there's none of them left. There's nothing super exciting in this little bathroom. There's an elixir. I find myself pretty much being full on elixirs all the time because we don't really fight that often. We can now go in here and find the rune. And a note from the silvergraph artist, who seems to be friendly with Aramis as well. I think this guy might have been also the one who wanted to take a shot of the dead wolfhound that we ended up solving that puzzle before. And here's the rune. And that's pretty much it in terms of interesting things in this room itself. It's visually cool, but it's not that much actual interesting stuff to pick up. Suppose I can't really complain. A rune is pretty much the best thing we can possibly find. There is a statue, of course, or a bust of Aramis Tilton. Down the stairs in the present, you find, as far as I know, the only rat swarm in the game that you don't summon yourself. Perhaps I've missed one someplace else, but yeah, they were very common in Dishonored 1. Were basically the bloodflies of that game. But not so much here. There's a leak in the basement, which is dangerous because there are bloodflies there. That, of course, is something we can easily deal with, but let's not go in yet. So we're going to eavesdrop on these 2 guys.
Don't throw it. Drop it gently. It's silver. It's not going to break.
I'm not worried about it breaking. You know why the basement's sealed off, right? Blood flies. Yeah, they should keep the curious away. And we'll come back later to pick up the loot. It's a good, simple plan. So why are you nervous? Dumbass, if you disturb that nest, they'll find our bloated corpses down here a week from now, full of blood fly maggots.
Are they that bad? We don't have anything like that in Morley.
Trust me, they're that bad. And this year is the worst I've ever seen.
So these two guards have some sort of plan to stash some sort of loot here. And the bloodflies would serve as excellent deterrents from anyone else coming to find them. Not a bad plan. I'm of course going to knock them out and rob them of their loot, but it was good in theory until I came along. Sleep there, friend. Same note, but in the past this time. Water leak in the basement. We can see the blood flies. But what we can do is pick up the crank wheel, throw it in here. In the past, travel to the present. Find that the place indeed has become flooded from the water leak and fix it. This will drain out the water and we can find their loot. A silver ingot. More than that though, we can find a rune. That's why we really came here after all. Also some liquor, just in case. But there's not really anything to throw it at. The bloodfight nest isn't here in the past. Sorry, present. Past, future, present. The color parts is the past. The muted parts is the present. Now, because we picked up the ingot in the present, we can still pick it up in the past. Time causality loops, friends. Alright, this is what Aramis Stilton's office looks like in the past. It's much nicer.
Tonight, Bell and the others will drink my expensive whiskey and scheme. Chindosh will watch me like a cat with a half-chewed mouse. Ashworth will sneer about how conventional the rest of us are. Missing the obvious, she'll flirt for a while, then put me in my place. I'll sit on my anger, remembering what Theodanis meant to me. I'll tell myself I worked for this honor. I swung a pick in the mines, and now the fine folk are guests in my house. If they want to hold a seance, who am I to say it's nonsense? Whatever happens, I'll regret it. But afterward, Megan's coming by. Talking with her always sets me right.
Megan claims Stilton was a good man, at odds with the Duke.
Speaking of the Duke, there's a note from him right here. Which basically tells you about the future seance ritual thing. Lots of privacy. And this notes again that, oh, you were my father's closest friend. And at this point, you sort of start to realize, combined with what you've heard before, that Stilton and Theodanis were more than just friends. They were, well, probably lovers, but at least very, very close. There's a letter from Theodanis himself. And they definitely seem close. Perhaps as close as Brianna and Delilah, who knows? A lot of that stuff is left more to you to figure out and think about more than any details, but right now, this is what's happened to Stilton. If we're lucky, perhaps we can change some of that.
Stilton wasn't born to all this. Allegedly, he started as a miner.
Undoubtedly, Stilton has worked his way up from next to nothing. Part of that is why he's, well, the anti-Duke. Less spoiled, less of an asshole, I suppose you can say. He wants to grant a holiday for the miners and name it Theodanis Day. It's a very interesting looking place. There's still guards down there. I keep forgetting them. They can hear us.